welcome to Otis Frampton Live again. It's good to be here. Good to be here. I always look forward to the time I get to stream. It's like touching grass in a sense, digital grass. But you know, the sentiment works, I guess. Just gonna get all my audio set up here and I'll get going. Today I'm gonna be working on this Hellboy commission. I got it all inked up, except for the ink wash that I plan on doing to the original line art. And but I got it inked and ready. I got it scanned, ready to go here in Procreate. Let me just get in here. Looks like we are good to go. I always got to make sure my chat room is visible across the streams. So today I'm gonna get as far as I can into coloring this. Probably not too far because I do want to do some sort of re-inking of things, and maybe I'll do that on the show. But one of the first things I want to do is I'm going to be doing, like I said, an ink wash for the original artwork, the original line art for this. I got to clean up the panel lines, didn't align too well. Two places here, sort of mainly from the front, but also a little bit of rim light on the back, so that's why I had it like this. A second here to check the chat that's going on. The Jawa asks, iPad, Procreate, Apple Pencil Pro. Asking because I'm just now learning how to use them all. Yes, correct. iPad, Procreate, Apple Pencil Pro. That is those are my main tools. It's my main tool set, I should say. This is the commission that I'm going to be coloring. So there's going to be some. You're going to see it. It's been traditionally inked. That's not my usual process, for sure. I rarely touch paper, but when it comes to commissions, that's just the nature of the beast. I used to do digital commissions a long time ago. I haven't done those in a while on their own because most people just prefer the traditional artwork, and when you order a commission from me, you get a digitally colored one these days anyway. So my sort of policies have changed on that over the years. Turn off the guide for a second here. To the Jawa who asked about Procreate, if you're just learning, I always recommend reading the Procreate handbook on Procreate's website. It's a quick read, but it's an essential one, and it'll save you a lot of time if you're like looking at YouTube videos and they're claiming that there are hidden features in Procreate. There are no hidden features in Procreate. They're all there on the listed in the Procreate handbook. These are just people trying to get you to click on their links. It's a must read. And once you read it, and once you have it like in your links to refer to it, you'll always have a place to go to figure out what you want to do. And then once you know all the the features that. I mean, I understand when people say that there are hidden features sometimes in Procreate, because like Procreate's very gesture based. So there's a 3-finger swipe to bring up the copy and paste thing. It's not obvious, but it's in the handbook, so it's not like it's a hidden feature. It's part of the fact that, or it's an example of the tools that are not sort of readily apparent, or based on like a drop-down menu, which is what most people are used to who grew up, in the Photoshop world, or desktop apps, I should say. So I can see why it would frustrate some people, but to say that there are hidden features, nah, that's just BS. But I have the Procreate handbook pretty much always on hand, just in case, There's always something that you forget or need to refresh on. All right. Now let's compare that to my initial. Yeah, it looks about the same. That works. The Jawa replied, "Yeah, I kind of steer away from the YouTube stuff. I'm old school Photoshop guy, so just kind of looked at the manual and jumping. Good choice. I mean, there's a lot of great YouTube content for Procreate. Oh wow, 4 months ago, you really knew this stuff. That said, I always recommend reading the manual first, and then jumping into YouTube tutorials, because then when to turn things off. You know what I mean? It's like you can always sort of tell the hucksters who are just there to repeat things that are in the handbook, so they can get the clicks, get the views. But there's great resources on YouTube. I'm not trying to say that everyone's like that. I would not do that. I am not like an absolutist. Let's see. Okay. When I get into the shading, I talk about this all the time on my show, but when I start the shading process, it's when the image starts to really come alive for me, because that's when I get to establish the forms of the drawing. And boy, I really want to re-ink Hellboy here. The inked lines just did not turn out the way that I wanted to. But I oftentimes end up re-inking faces if I've done something traditionally and then gone into color it digitally, because I like to get the fine lines of my initial layouts or pencils back into the work. That's funny. That was the Jawa says the hardest part was going from pencil to ballpoint pen, then to digital. That was sort of my trajectory back in the early 2000s. Funny story. So I was inking my first comic, and I had already sort of given up brush inking with a brush. It was just I just couldn't get a handle on it, and I was in the Air Force when I was working on the first version of Oddly Normal, my comic, and so I had to find a way of working on it in my off time, or the downtime during the job, and I ended up using a ballpoint pen to sort of fake the look of a brush, And there's an artist on YouTube, Steven something. Oh, I wish I had his name on hand. Who uses a ballpoint pen to this day, and his inking is just exquisite. It's so beautiful. It's really great stuff. I think I'm gonna do this and just create like a stippling effect. There. So the pattern I want to establish here is sort of, I want to highlight the face and arm here, and then do a little stippling here for light. Let me turn this up a little bit. But I want to keep the majority of this area in shadow. In fact, I should probably just do that right now, so that the Jawa's eyes are the things that pop when it comes to. Let me just do this. Let's just get this over with. Now chip away at the. Uh-oh. Did my stream break? That's weird. I think my YouTube stream went down. Sorry about that on YouTube. Looks like I'm okay everywhere else. Oh, no, Rumble's down too. Is Instagram still working? Looks like Instagram's still working. That's weird. I wonder why the other two crashed. So now I can. So I wanted to feel like they're coming out of the darkness and you can just see their eyes. Weird. If you're on Instagram Live watching me, please let me know if you can still see this. It still looks like it's working to me, but I could be wrong. All right, cool. Thank you, Jab. The Jabo. It's weird that the other two crashed. I wonder what that's all about. I should say two of them. I don't know if these are still working on. Oh, come on. Okay. For the digitally colored version here, I'm probably gonna do like a actual more like painted background here to make it a little bit more subdued, like to really make it feel like it's in the far background. Yeah, I'm glad it's still working too. It's really strange that I think it looks like Twitter's still working. So I'm just checking on my other feed so real quick. Don't worry, I'll get back to drawing real quick. But I just want to see if the others are working. Looks like Facebook went down too. So Twitter and Instagram still chugging along. Interesting. Nice, good to know. Feel bad about the other guys, but I'm especially glad that Instagram's still working because that's where that's my biggest audience, and so getting to stream there was I'm really glad that I finally got to figure things out to stream multiple places that included Instagram. Sorry, I'm moving around so much here. I'm just trying to remember what I did. What I did in the layouts, I should say. I should probably always finish my sentences. Actually, I usually don't monitor my Twitter or X live stream. It looks pretty good. I'm actually kind of surprised by how good it looks on there. All right, let's get back to this. Nobody cares about your tech troubles. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna redo the smoke here, but in case I don't, I'll just do the shading with the actual brush or the type of brush I use. Actual brush. It was actually a dry brush technique that I used, but I'm using a digital version of that here to shade it. There. I'll go back to. Oh, that's another. quote-unquote hidden feature. Now that the Apple Pencil Pro is here, you can set it up to squeeze the Apple Pencil and bring up your quick menu. It's a nice feature. I like that a lot. There it is. I may not end up doing. Whoa! Oh, my chair keeps unhooking, sending me flying back like an idiot. Too much of it to be in the light. Yeah. It's always, I know I'm repeating myself here, it's always a relief to get to this point where I can start to see the forms take shape. Since I don't really do a lot of spotting of blacks, I did more spotting of, I did more, ink work in black on this than I usually do. I think it's just because it's, it's Hellboy, and it's a little bit more of a, you can get away with a lot when spotting black by doing a lot of blacks. Like, and I talked about this when I was doing the actual inking, but this area right here in Hellboy's hand, I found like a model sheet that Mike Mignola had actually created for the character, and when he has this little funny section where he talks about inking the hand, and he says, just put it in black because I don't know what's there and you don't have to know either. I thought, well, if that's what Mike says about his own character, that works for me. I thought that was funny and generous of him as an artist to say, you know what, I don't know, so you don't have to. Hello, Meantime Creation on Instagram. Working hard. Yep. And thank you, Chocolate Soup. Much appreciated. Working hard, but doing something I love. So hardly working. I know it's a cliche, but it is true. Just going to add a little bit of detailing in to kind of guide the eye a little bit. Oh, thanks, Meantime Creation. Take care. Yeah, you'll get that iPad someday. All right. I think at this. Oh, here's what I wanted to do next. Yeah, I wanted to do a little bit of a. I wanted to do some tests to see how I wanted to do the ink wash in the background. So, whoops. So, kind of want to. That's too much. Well, you know, what did I have? What did I initially put? I think this was it. Yeah, but that doesn't really help me out. Let's go back to my paintbrush. That's better. And that way it matches up. Yeah, maybe I'll use a dry brush technique for the background here so it matches. Matches the other smoke. And then just put little spots, little blotches here and there. Oops. Let's work on the right layer. That's always important. I may end up keeping this for the digital version, just because it works pretty well. But I do want it to be lighter. And then let's see if I can. And I was on the wrong layer. That's awful. Let's try to save this. Save my work here. I don't want to redo that. Hello? Okay, we'll try it that way. There. Save that work. Merge down. Turn this back up. There we go. Now I saved it. This ink wash will probably end up being lighter, so I'm going to have to throw this on its own layer, but I'm just going to get it in there real quick. Some clouds going. All right. I think that's a pretty good start for the shading on this. It's definitely going to look better when it's colored, but for this piece, it was really important for me to get this shading all set at this level. Because if you're just joining me, I was doing this originally as sort of a guide for the ink wash that I'll eventually put on the line art for this, but then I said, maybe I'll just ink the whole thing or shade the whole thing right now and keep that for the digital version. I think it works. It's gonna be this panel especially gonna be very dark once the flats get in there, and I really want like I said, the Jawas, I really want them to be very much in shadow. In fact, I'm gonna, before I sign off here for the day, I'm gonna put one more level of shadow just to even differentiate the foreground robot debris from the Jawas. And I'll use a much darker ink wash, or go over it a second time with a darker ink wash for these areas to put them even more in shadow. It's much easier to do in digital, but I'll be testing myself with the ink wash. And again, their eyes are going to be really bright. As they come out of the darkness, those little scavenger guys. Oh yeah, that already helps differentiate the foreground from the background really well. I mean, I had a sense of what I wanted to do for this as I was doing it, obviously. I did it somewhat in the layouts, but it was always going to be sort of a, is it going to work situation? Oh, gotta go full. There. I think the same with this. It's gotta be a little bit darker. There. That looks better as a frame. So many decisions to make for these things. All right. All right, so this gives me a guide so that when I do the ink wash, which whoa, sorry about that. I probably won't do on the stream. You'll probably just see the results of it because my focus is going to be on the digitally colored version from this point on for Hellboy and the Jawas. Just fixing things that I think this needs to be in darkness. It's too distracting. Oh, maybe not that. There. It's a little bit more believable. Yeah, I should have just kept it. All right. Well, there we go. More work on Hellboy and the Jawas. I think the piece is going to be pretty good when all is said and done. It definitely looks better than it was when after my first pass on the robot, which I was not happy with and completely redid it after doing it on the show, on the live stream. I forgot that I had redone the pencils on it, and then next time I worked on it on the show, I ended up doing pencils over an older version. So basically redid bad work. But that teaches you, that should teach you that sometimes you need to start over or redo things to make things right. It's always worth it in the end to get it right. All right, that's the show for today. If any of my YouTube, Facebook, or Rumble viewers happen to catch this stream somewhere else, I apologize for the crash. I'll try to re-upload them to YouTube and Rumble. But in the meantime, I'll be back tomorrow at what's tomorrow? Wednesday? Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central to work on more of the Captain America comic page commissions that I've been working on. And the following day, I'll be back at 7 p.m. Central to keep working on the colors for the Daredevil and TMNT commission. Until then, please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. It's the highlight of my day. It really is. Thank you so much. Take care.